How's it going, everyone? Venomous Stare back with the exciting conclusion of Innovation versus Dark, two of the best Korean players on the planet, and I think it's the most exciting matchup to watch, Terran versus Zerg. And as far as excitement goes, it doesn't get much better than two of the best facing off in a long series and it being the final deciding game. This is game 5 of a best of 5, so whoever wins this wins the series. These replays are from IEM. And we have seen Innovation go for an aggressive mech style every single game. And you might be saying, mech TVZ? That's more boring to watch than bio TVZ. And normally I would agree, but the way that Innovation plays his mech is completely different than what you might be used to. Innovation opens with an aggressive 2 factories, and then goes into a third base, 3 more factories, all with tech labs, and then makes tanks. And it's very important to talk about Innovation's build because it has been so similar throughout all the games. And whenever you play someone in a best of 5, what they do in the previous games has a large impact on what not only you do as your build, but what you anticipate your opponent doing. So Innovation is going to go for a fast expand here yet again and take a gas. Now he's going to take an early second gas, so this screams to me he's going to be doing the 2 factory opener again. So how does the build work? Innovation gets a quick 2 factories. Sometimes he goes Reaper, sometimes he goes Marine. I anticipate on Whirlwind he will go Marine. And after he gets the 2 factories, he does a swaparoo with the reactor and makes sure that both factories have the reactor to very quickly produce units. And then he goes Hellion Cyclone. Now the point of Hellion Cyclone, as we see, Dark has fast expanded of course, and he's going to get link speed pretty quick here. The point of Hellion Cyclone is Hellions are really good against workers, Zerglings, light units, and Cyclones are good against armored units like Queens and Roaches. And it is the Marine, and Dark scouted in the wrong position first, and the second Overlord won't be able to actually see anything because of this Marine. So what does this mean? It means that Cyclones and Hellions combo together are very good, but once you get a very large army, kind of like a critical mass, Zerg can usually defend it. And you usually see this with like a Roach Queen Ling mix. Oftentimes the crux of the issue is how many Lings Zerg makes, because the Terran push is oftentimes an effort to try to get Zerg to not make drones, but if they make a lot of Lings, oftentimes they can be caught off guard because of the high amount of Hellbat / Hellions that are made. Now Hellions, as we see Dark, he appears to be teching up to a third base. He's getting his trademark Overlord speed. Hellions, of course, can be surrounded by speed Zerglings, but Hellbats are extremely good against Zerglings. And it's very peculiar because for years and years, Zerg has dealt with Hellions in the early game of Zerg versus Terran. It's extremely standard, you know. Even if the Terran player is going bio, they'll make 4 to 6 Hellions to limit your creep spread and make sure that you don't make too many drones. So Zerg will often say, well, you know, I'll hem-haul around and make a handful of Queens, I'll make some Lings, they'll skip Roach Tech. We see that in the previous game, one thing that Innovation has done is he will go for these 2 factories, but he will delay his armory until, you know, a few minutes later, until around he takes his third base. This means that he can't even make Hellbats, but it means that he will be able to make a lot of Hellions and a lot of Cyclones without teching into armory or other things like Starport. It means that he'll always be able to produce 2 units at a time out of both of these factories. Now this is an extremely important and interesting variation. The armory that is just out of Dark's vision is abnormal. In the previous games, we've seen that Innovation has done this as sort of a pressure. He'll take a third behind it and then start double upgrading, go into full-blown mech and play an extremely scary macro game. But this time, as Dark does not know, so important that Dark doesn't know, he's actually getting armory very early, several minutes earlier than he usually does. This means that Dark, who is going for a bit of a Baneling drop and does not even have Roach Warren, is going to get caught completely off guard with this, and Dark is losing overlords. He doesn't have many units all to defend. It's mostly queens, and the armory just finished. This is going to be an oh shit moment. Dark, you are in dire straits, my friend. As Dark, who is currently supply blocked, does not have a Roach Warren to defend against all these Hellbats. He's relying on Ling Bane, and he just has a few Banes. These Banes are not going to be able to cut it, and they kill a few Hellbats, but it's not really enough as 4 more Hellions arrive and turn into Hellbats, and suddenly Innovation's going to take a huge lead here, as Dark didn't think that the Hellbats would come this early. He thought he would be able to defend with Queens, and a Bane drop's going to occur, but Innovation is dealing severe damage at the front door. 8 SCVs die, but it doesn't matter, as Dark is just going to die outright and lose the series. As we see, Hellions are absolutely fast as all hell, and once they turn into Hellbats right on the front line, Zerglings can't do anything, and Innovation can just keep reinforcing with Hellion, Cyclone. The Hellions scurry up. It's close positions, it's not cross positions, so the Hellions scream over, and Dark is trying to run his drones around. He's in denial. He's just going to make some stuff, and he GG's. That's the series. So Innovation uses essentially the same build 5 times in a row, and then hits Dark with an extremely important, pivotal, and crazy variation in the final game, and Dark was not able to cope, and he loses the game. If you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. Click the little bell icon so you're notified when more StarCraft 2 vids come out.